Hello Face, happy holidays to you. I am sharing a few of my very favorite self-care tools. These are tools that I work with every day that I use personally and tools that I share with my clients. So during this season where people are looking at and considering special gifts for themselves or for their loved ones, I wanted to make sure that I share some of my favorites in case they're new to you or something that you would consider because you're passionate or the person you love is passionate about self-care, health, performance, vitality, all those really great things. So I'm gonna focus this video on the one that I actually have on my person right now. It's called a B2. This beautiful, it's actually like an actual operating computer that I wear here. B2, it hangs right at the level of my solar plexus. If you're not familiar with the solar plexus, we'll get into another video on that. So it hangs right at the level of my solar plexus. The B2 comes in different matching chains and face covers here. I have on gold today. And so the B2 is in the area of care or wellness tools called pulsed electromagnetic activation, formerly pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And so with pulsed electromagnetic activation, this device is going to broadcast every few seconds, every time you see my little light flash here in a second. It's pulsing a frequency that runs about 6 feet. It's called a bubble, 6 feet around my body to help my body receive at a very, very deep fundamental level the important frequencies to help support my vitality, my energy levels, all the things that we could describe as supportive. So reducing inflammation, increasing vitality, circulation, etc. And one of the main emphasis of this company's mission, and in particular this product, is that now in 2024, we live in a time where we have a lot of exposure to things like these wireless speakers around me, these wireless lights around me, the cell phone I'm holding, the internet router in my studio. We have all these wonderful, wonderful frequencies that we're just sort of swimming in and dancing in. But those have a frequency of their own, and the longer time I spend inside of those, or you spend inside of those, it has the potential to create a lot of kind of static and disruption. That's the way I like to describe it. Static and disruption in my system. And introducing something like this bubble, I liken it to putting on noise canceling headphones, where the noise can be on the outside, but what I experience on the inside is nice and quiet and smooth and stable and a lot less static. So I wear my bubble for the same intention I would use noise canceling headphones to create a nice, level, calm peace inside myself when I'm inside of a bunch of noise. So inside of a bunch of this soup of frequencies and signals, I wear the bubble to help create a 6-foot space where I get to exist without all of that static and noise being as disruptive as it might be without it. So it's wearable. You can straight out the colors. This can go from this sort of graphite, dark gray and black chain to a silver chain and a silver face, or the gold, of course. And this is something that I use. The Bubble2 does not itself receive information when it's off of its charger. So there's no Bluetooth or wireless capabilities happening incoming. So it can't receive signals unless it's on its charging station. So when I put it on the charging station, I can choose, there are two sort of options with this. One is to use the set frequencies, which are magnetic, they're in hertz, so a frequency signal, that are in alignment with, they're the same as the magnetic fields of the planet. And we can go into a whole other video on what those are and why we'd want to do it, but it's really good. These are good frequencies for our human body to be exposed to. So I can choose one of those frequencies that are already set in the bubble. I can just pick one, or I can ask the system to tell me which one would my body benefit from the most based on which one is the weakest or strongest on the planet at the time. And that's a really cool function. You don't have to think about it. You just put it on automatic. It does it for you. You put it right back on again. The other option is what's called the frequency wheel. And the frequency wheel allows me to select a frequency of my choosing. And if you're not familiar with frequencies and how they're used in terms of performance and vitality and wellness, there's lots of things you can find about it. I'm certainly happy to share all of my resources. But for example, I had an injury recently, and so I chose frequencies to help support the particular experience I was going through, and I recovered very fast. It's not the only thing I used, but it is the one that I wear and wore during that period of time. So this is the B2, and it's in alignment with the same sort of price point as would be any of the other technologies that are sending these signals, like a cell phone. So if you think about an iPhone or any of your other current in the marketplace, at the top of the technology game price points, this would be in alignment with that. The difference is one of them is creating static, the other one is creating calm and stability. So you're probably going to have a cell phone, so you might want to consider having one of these to help stabilize the effect of that. So the phrase that's used to describe those frequencies is electro-smog. Think of it, if you live in Los Angeles, you know exactly what smog is, or any of the other major cities. So electro-smog is the way that we characterize these kinds of sort of omnipresent signals that we are sort of moving within and among all the time. And by the way, if you're someone who says, oh yeah, but I'm not inside of a building like mine with all these fun, fancy, modern, contemporary appointments that are largely wireless these days. I spend most of my time outdoors. That's great. And there are still thousands of satellites in our atmosphere pointed directly at you. So it's very difficult, if not impossible these days, without an enormous amount of effort and knowledge on how to create a situation where you would not be exposed to this electro-smog. And certainly some areas have much greater concentrations than others. So the B2 is, to my knowledge, the first of its kind and definitely the best of its kind at addressing this new modern thing that we all get to figure out. They are some people who are more aware of their imbalances will notice as soon as they get near a B2, even near it, meaning around one. So if I'm wearing one and someone comes up to me and their system's pretty out of balance, they'll feel the effect of my bubble. Or if they put it on themselves, they can feel quite a bit the effect of that bubble. For some people, it's a little more subtle, but it's nice to know that you're wearing a technology that is designed to support your health and vitality and wellness and centering throughout the day so that you can go about your busy modern life like I do inside of a space with all these fun toys, at least knowing I'm taking some positive steps toward my self-care. And like I said, you can wear it with confidence that it itself is not providing any kind of static to your system, but quite the opposite. And you get just charges every couple of days, depending on what setting you have it on and how the amplitude, the strength of it that you're using. And then you can either choose to get a bubble that has just already the presets, or the one that has the presets as well as the frequency wheel. I'm happy to share more about this. I get asked about it all the time. Oftentimes mine is tucked away inside. I wore it on the outside just for the purpose of the video, but I have the option to wear it inside or outside. I do tend to wear mine mostly against my skin. I'm very comfortable with it there. I'm used to wearing it there. But it's nice to have. It feels good. And I also appreciate that I can take this off the chain and I can put it directly anywhere on a local body part. Let's say if I had something going on in my hip or my back or my ankle or something, I can place this nearby, make it more of a sort of local application of support. Or keeping it here near my solar plexus is the way to address more of a systemic effect. So if you're looking for something very unique, very thoughtfully engineered, beautifully packaged too, by the way, not that is when you're wearing it, it's probably not gonna be as important, but it comes in beautiful packaging, it's very thoughtful. So if you're looking for something special this holiday season, I hope you will consider a B2 for you or your loved one. And the next video, I will share the Kloud mat and the Coccoon. Okay, join me for more.